The Los Angeles Board of Education late Tuesday approved a record $20 billion budget for the upcoming academic year, a massive influx of funding made possible by two unprecedented occurrences: pandemic relief money and record state tax revenues. How specifically that money is spent on a school level will play out in months ahead, but the budget will include the projected hiring of thousands of new employees in a school system where students have struggled during the COVID-19 pandemic, with their grades dropping and their mental health suffering. The budget has been boosted by about $5 billion in state and federal pandemic relief plus rising ongoing revenues, although that funding will be spread out over multiple years. Details of the recovery plan were presented in a previous meeting, where officials laid out a strategy to hire 930 psychologists and psychiatric social workers, an increase of more than 80%, 190 teachers, an increase of 8%, and 770 custodial workers, a 25% increase. And these numbers don't include additional hiring expected to take place in after-school and summer enrichment programs. The actual numbers could evolve based on decisions made by school leaders, workforce availability, future board actions and an ever-evolving budget. But by any measure, the influx of resources is eye-popping in a district where the number of students has been shrinking for years. The new jobs may not be permanent. This is a situation we've never been in before as a school district, said LA Schools Supt. Austin Beutner, who spoke only briefly at the meeting and is stepping down at the end of the month. What you see is the staff's best thinking about how we provide more direct services to students at schools. The irony is that the district has ample funding, at least in the short term, because of a devastating pandemic. The impact has been especially harmful to the district's low-income families, representing about 80% of enrollment, and its Black and Latino families, who account for about 82% of students. It is these students and families who have disproportionately suffered deaths and job losses as students grappled with barriers to online learning, such as poor internet access and limited opportunities to complete schoolwork. You have the power to remediate the damage done during distance learning, one parent, speaking in Spanish, told the Board of Education during a public hearing that took place via phoned-in testimony. My son, who's graduated from the 12th grade, did not get the support he needed during the pandemic. And I'm afraid that when he enters in university this fall, he's going to be frustrated for that lack of support that was missing during distance learning. And I hope that this doesn't happen with my daughter, who's in the 10th grade, and other students like her.